So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And in a video that got published earlier today, we talked about some provisions or some things that the EPA was proposing to give not just consumers choice, but let them have some freedom in terms of the vehicles. And I'm talking about diesel trucks, that they could have some freedom in terms of being able to buy a new vehicle, but not have the new regulations. And I'm talking about glider trucks. Now, this has been a thing in the semi-truck world for a long time, and it's just now been getting cracked down on this year with these new 2027 NOx regulations. But those are getting pulled back. Lee Zeldin, if you saw the video earlier today, talked about that. We're going to get into all that and more right after this. Hey guys, just a quick word from the video sponsors today, Delete Me. Here's something I didn't realize until recently. You know, there are entire people search websites that list your name, phone number, address history, even your relatives, right? Anyone can access it. All it takes is a credit card. That kind of info floating around makes it way easier for scams, phishing, and other sketchy stuff to happen. And I'm not talking about somebody calling and asking you about your extended warranty. That's why I use Delete Me. They remove your personal info from hundreds of those data brokers and people search sites. And it's not a one and done thing. You can see how many sites had my info listed before Delete Me stepped in. You have it up here on the screen. Here's my report. You can see how many sites had the info. If you want to clean up what's out there on you, go to joindeleteme.com/TK Garage and use code TK Garage at checkout for 20% off. You can also use the QR code on screen. Just scan it with your phone. And link also, as always, in the description in the pinned comment. And thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. So, I know what the majority of people are here for today, and it is the following. What manufacturers would jump on board and actually do glider trucks or do brand new trucks that could work with old engines? I don't think you see GM do it. I don't even think you see Ford do it. But I could see Ram doing it. I could see Ram doing it. Stellantis already does it with their sister company in Dodge, right? With the drag packs and whatnot. And if you're wondering, what are you talking about, TK? What the hell is a glider truck? So in the semi-truck world, they take a brand new semi-truck, whole cab, looks like a brand new truck, 2026 beautiful semi-truck, right? And they put an engine in it from 15 or 20 years ago. Yeah. So you get no regulations on the engine because the engine is from 20 years ago, but you got a brand new beautiful cab with all the bells and whistles. Sounds good, right? Who in here would not like to have a Duramax from 2005? Who would not like to have a 12-valve Cummins? Who would not like to have a 7.3 Ford Power Stroke? Exactly. Everybody would. Why? No DEF. None of this crazy stuff. Now, I know they're going to say, well, they still had EGR, TK. Yeah. Look, deleting an EGR valve is easy. And it's nothing like removing the DPF, removing the DEF, going on a full weight loss plan with trucks like you have to do today. And look, I saw y'all's comments. Y'all are like me. I will beg for forgiveness later. I'm like, fuck that. Me personally, and I'd rather have my truck fully deleted, repaired, because I know it's going to be reliable. It's going to get me from point A to point B. It's not going to leave me on the side of the road because some stupid sensor failed. Because while the EPA has done what I think that what they can, and they're going to do more, but where they're at this point is, okay, so they've eliminated DEF sensors. Okay, so now these trucks are going to rely on the NOx sensor, right? The NOx sensor. Okay. Well, if you're not running DEF and something that gets clogged up or it's pushing too much stuff out in it, or the NOx sensor fails, because that's the next sensor that regularly fails on these trucks, then you're back to square one. So unless they get rid of that sensor and the DEF sensor, or just get rid of the entire friggin' system, it's really not going to change anything. But this is actually a rule or a regulation that could actually make good changes. Granted, it would require manufacturers to be on board with it. I don't think you're going to see GM come out with a capable Duramax, a Duramax shell that you can put an earlier Duramax engine in. I just don't see that happening. Just because of who the CEO is there. Ford, maybe, you know what? Maybe Ford does it. Maybe Ford could do it. Maybe they make a truck, they put out a 2028, Ford truck that you can put a 7.3 in it. It'd be pretty cool if they did, right? And the reason why I say this is a lot of people would be that are gas people would be like, why the hell would you put an old engine in a new truck? Older diesel engines have, believe it or not, more power, are more reliable. I know a lot of people that are growing up now are like, diesels suck. They break all the time. They weren't always like this, guys. Diesels used to be the most reliable thing you could buy. I give you a prime example. My truck, my 3500, my Chevy, was it was either a 90, I think it was a 98 or a 99. It was a dually, right? I think that was I don't think they called them Duramaxes then. But that truck, I got that truck with 70,000 miles on it. I put 400,000 miles on that truck. 400,000. And that was me driving from, at the time, Mayport, which is in Jacksonville, back and forth to Las Vegas, 6-7 times a year. Yeah. I put 400,000 miles in the years that I owned that truck. And the only thing I ever had to replace on it was an injector pump. And I probably could have got by with it for much longer. I just replaced it because I got tired of putting my truck in neutral and having to restart it whenever the pump would fail. But outside of that and replacing suspension components, which is normal, the truck was bulletproof. Older diesels just work, period. You don't have DPF, DEF, EGR, none of that crap, which even those older ones had that. You don't have any of that. You have literally probably the most reliable engine, / truck on the road. So them coming up with this glider truck rule or pulling that back so that people can do it, not just in commercial, but also in personal, that's huge. Because previously it was just commercial stuff, right? People were doing it in commercial trucks. Now you're opening it up for personal? Man, I think that's a huge, huge deal. And the Clean Air Act and all the other fucking bullshit that everybody, this section, this, doesn't matter. If I have an engine that still works from back then and the rules in place and I can put it into a new truck, I will do it tomorrow. Just saying. Well, now that we know that it's official, now that we know that they're actually putting in for it, like Zeldin is doing, and actually putting into NDEF completely, not just, the shutdowns, but completely remove it from the system, and pull back those 2027 NOx standards, I think we're probably going to see something here in the next 60 days that's going to make a lot of diesel fans happy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.